They told you that being nice would make life easier, that if you smiled more, agreed more, gave more, people would appreciate you, respect you, choose you. So you learned to stay quiet when something felt wrong. You learned to say it's okay when it wasn't. You learned to put everyone else first and yourself last. And now look at the result. You're exhausted, overlooked, taken for granted. You did everything right, and still ended up feeling invisible. Here's the truth. Most people are too afraid to say out loud. Being nice didn't make you powerful, it made you convenient. You became the person everyone relies on, but no one truly values. The one who listens, helps, adjusts, sacrifices, while others take, demand, and move ahead. And the most painful part, deep down you feel it. You feel that quiet resentment building every time your needs are ignored, every time your voice is swallowed just to keep the peace. This is not kindness, this is fear dressed up as virtue. Fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of being disliked. And that fear has been running your life without you even realizing it. Psychology proves this. When you constantly agree, you signal low self-worth. Hen. You never push back. You teach people that your boundaries don't matter. The world doesn't reward people who disappear to make others comfortable. It rewards those who stand firm in who they are. Think about it. When was the last time being too nice actually protected you? Did it stop people from crossing your limits? Did it earn you respect? Or did it slowly train everyone around you to expect your silence, your compliance, your sacrifice? You weren't born weak, you were trained to be agreeable. And training can be undone. This is your wake-up call. You don't need to become cold or cruel. You don't need to shout or dominate. But you must stop shrinking. You must stop apologizing for existing. The moment you choose self-respect over approval, something powerful happens. You take your life back. And it starts right now, with the decision to stop being nice at the cost of your dignity. You've been taught a dangerous lie, that being nice makes you a good person, that staying quiet, agreeing, and avoiding discomfort somehow equals moral strength. But niceness and goodness are not the same thing, and confusing them has kept millions of people small, silent, and stuck. Niceness is out approval. Goodness is about principle. One bends to be accepted, the other stands firm, even when it's uncomfortable. Nice people say yes when they want to say no. Good people say no when it protects what's right. Nice people avoid conflict at all costs. Good people understand that some conflicts are necessary for growth. Niceness is reactive. It asks, will they like me? Goodness is intention. It asks, is this right? And that difference changes everything. Psychology makes this clear. When your behavior is driven by the need to be liked, you hand your power away. Your decisions stop being yours. You begin living on emotional approval instead of inner values. That's why being nice feels so draining. You're constantly performing, constantly adjusting, constantly betraying your own Ruth just to keep everyone comfortable. That is not kindness. That is self-abandonment. Real goodness has weight. It has boundaries. It has a spine. A good person can disappoint others and still sleep peacefully at night because they know they didn't betray themselves. A nice person may keep the room calm, but inside there's a storm, regret, frustration, and the haunting feeling of being untrue to who they really are. The world doesn't change because of nice people. It changes because of people who are good enough to say, this is wrong, and strong enough to stand alone if needed. Look closely at the people you respect most. They are not endlessly agreeable. They are clear. They are grounded. They don't explain themselves to death. They don't chase approval. Their kindness comes from not fear. And that's why it lands with impact. You don't need to become harsh to become strong. You need clarity. You need values. You need the courage to choose truth over comfort. The moment you stop trying to be nice and start trying to be real, something powerful shifts. Your words carry weight. Your presence commands respect. And for the first time, your kindness isn't ignored, it's felt. Because goodness, backed by strength, is impossible to overlook. Every time you say yes when your soul is screaming no, you pay a price, not immediately, but slowly, silently, dangerously. It starts small. You agree to things you don't want. You tolerate behavior you don't deserve. You stay quiet to avoid tension, and each time you do, you make a withdrawal from your self-respect. One day you ache up emotionally bankrupt, wondering where your confidence went and why life feels so heavy. The hidden cost of pleasing everyone is not just exhaustion, it's erosion. Your identity erodes, your ambition erodes, your voice erodes. You stop trusting yourself because you've trained yourself to ignore your own needs. That's why people-pleasing creates anxiety. Your mind knows you're betraying yours. Elf. Even if your mouth keeps smiling. Opportunities pass you by because you didn't speak up. Promotions go to louder, firmer voices, not better hearts. Relationships become unbalanced because you give more than you receive. And resentment grows, not because you're ungrateful, but because deep down you know you've been overgiving to earn love that should never have been conditional. Here's the BR. Oodle truth. The world does not reward sacrifice without boundaries. It exploits it. When you constantly adjust for others, you teach them that your time, energy, and emotions are negotiable. That's not humility, that's a lack of standards. And people sense it instantly. They may like you, but they won't value you. They may rely on you, but they won't respect you. This is where most people get stuck. Confusing kindness with self-destruction. True strength isn't endless giving. It's conscious giving. It's knowing when to stop. It's choosing yourself without guilt. Because when you protect your energy, you show the world how to treat you. Imagine the life you could live if you stopped over-explaining, over-giving, over-apologizing. Imagine waking up without that tightness in your chest, that quiet anger you've normalized. Success doesn't come from being liked by everyone. It comes from being aligned with yourself. The cost of staying nice is far greater than the discomfort of setting boundaries. One steals your future, the other builds it. And the moment you realize that, you stop sacrificing your life just to keep others comfortable. You stop surviving, and you start leading. People don't disrespect you because you're kind. They disrespect you because you're unclear, because you hesitate, because you bend before you're pushed. Respect is not built on how much you give, it's built on what you tolerate. And when you tolerate everything, people learn exactly how far they can go with you. Human psychology is simple and brutal. We are wired to respond to certainty, to firmness, to boundaries. When someone speaks with clarity, stands their ground, and doesn't flinch under pressure, the brain registers strength. When someone constantly agrees, apologizes, and adjusts, the brain registers flexibility, and flexibility, when overused, becomes weakness in the eyes of the world. Not because you are weak, but because you present yourself that way. Think about it. The nice one is often loved, but rarely listened to. Included, but rarely chosen. Trusted with work, but not with power. Why? Because respect doesn't come from being easy to deal with. It comes from being solid, predictable in values, unmovable when it matters. People respect those who respect themselves first. Every time you laugh off a disrespectful comment, every time you stay silent when something crosses your line, you send a signal, this behavior is acceptable. And people don't need permission twice. They will push further, not because they are evil, but because humans naturally test limits. Strong boundaries stop tests. Weak boundaries invite them. This is the hard pill to swallow. People treat you the way you allow them to treat you, not the way you hope they will, not the way you deserve. The W. You demonstrate through action. And being endlessly nice demonstrates one thing clearly. You'll absorb discomfort so others don't have to. But here's the shift that changes everything. The moment you become calm and firm, the moment your no stops shaking, the moment you stop explaining your worth, people adjust. Instantly. Not because you became aggressive, but because you became clear. Clarity C. Oman's respect. Always has. Always will. You don't need to raise your voice. You don't need to intimidate. You need to decide where you stand and refuse to move from it. Respect is born the moment others realize you cannot be guilted, pressured, or manipulated out of your values. Stop trying to be liked by everyone. Be someone you would respect, because when you stand solid in who you are, the world has no choice but to meet you there. You didn't choose this pattern, you inherited it. Long before you knew how to protect yourself, you were rewarded for being quiet, agreeable, and easy to manage. You learned early that love came with conditions. Be good, don't talk back, don't cause problems, make others happy, and every time you obeyed, you were praised. Every time you resisted, you were corrected. That lesson went deep. It wired itself into your nervous system. So you grew up believing that your value depended on how comfortable you made other people feel. You became skilled at reading moods, adjusting your tone, shrinking your needs. You learned to sense danger not from physical threats, but from disapproval, and without realizing it, you carried that childhood survival strategy straight into adulthood, into your career, your relationships, your identity. But here's the truth that changes everything. What once protected you is now imprisoning you. That behavior was never strength. It was adaptation. You weren't being kind, you were staying safe, and safety kept you alive as a child. But as an adult, it's keeping you small. Your brain still thinks conflict equals danger. Your body still reacts as if saying no will cost you love. That's why your heart races when you speak up. That's why guilt floods in when you set boundaries. Nothing is wrong with you. This is conditioning, and conditioning can be rewritten. The most powerful people in the world aren't fearless. They're reprogrammed. They felt the same fear you feel. The difference is they didn't let it decide the IR future. They challenged the old script. They replaced be liked with be honest. They stopped confusing obedience with goodness and silence with strength. You are not disloyal for choosing yourself. You are not selfish for having limits. You are not wrong for wanting respect. Those beliefs were planted in you to make you manageable, not fulfilled. This is the moment you take your power back. Not by fighting the past, but by outgrowing it. You honor who you were by becoming who you're meant to be. The child in you learned how to survive. The adult in you must learn how to lead. And leadership starts the moment you realize this. You are no longer required to earn your worth by disappearing. You get to exist fully, speak clearly, stand firmly. The old program ends here. A stronger one begins now. Boundaries are not rejection. They are self-respect made visible. And the moment you understand that, your entire life begins to change. Most people fear boundaries because they think they'll lose relationships, opportunities, love. But the truth is the opposite. Boundaries don't push the right people away. They reveal who was never meant to stay. A boundary is simply a decision, a clear line between what you accept and what you refuse. No anger, no drama, no guilt, just clarity. And clarity is power. When you don't have boundaries, your life becomes an open door. Anyone can walk in, take what they want, and leave you depleted. But when you set boundaries, you become selective, intentional, in control. Here's what no one tells you. Boundaries don't make you selfish. They make you effective. They protect your energy so it can be used where it actually matters. Every successful person understands this. They don't give everyone unlimited access to their time, emotions, or attention. They choose, and because they choose, their yes means something. Setting boundaries will feel uncomfortable at first. Your voice may shake, your heart may race. Guilt will try to pull you back into old habits. That's not a sign you're doing something wrong. That's a sign you're breaking a pattern that no longer serves you. Growth always feels like resistance before it feels like freedom. You don't need long explanations. You don't need permission slips. That doesn't work for me. I'm not available for that. I won't accept this behavior. Simple, calm, final. The more you practice T, the stronger you become. And strength is magnetic. People will test your boundaries, not because they're bad, but because they're used to the old version of you. Stay steady, don't overreact, don't retreat. Boundaries only work when they're consistent. The moment you enforce them without apology, something powerful happens. People adjust, or they exit. Either way, you win. Boundaries are how you the world who you are without shouting. They are the framework of confidence, the backbone of leadership, the foundation of success. When you protect your inner space, you unlock your outer potential. Stop living like your energy is unlimited. It's not. Guard it, direct it, respect it. Because when you honor your boundaries, the world learns to honor you, and that's when you stop being drained by life and start commanding it. You don't owe the world a detailed explanation for your existence. Yet every time you over-explain, you give away a piece of your power. You turn a simple decision into a courtroom defense. You start justifying instead of standing. And without realizing it, you send a message that your choices need approval to be valid. Over-explaining is not politeness. It's insecurity trying to sound reasonable. It's the habit of someone who has been trained to believe that their no is only acceptable if it comes with a convincing story. But confident people don't negotiate their boundaries. They state them, calmly, clearly. Once. Psychology is ruthless on this point. The more you explain, the more resistance you invite. Long explanations open doors for debate, manipulation, and guilt. You think you're being understood, but what you're actually doing is teaching people how to push back. Every extra sentence weakens the original message. Strength lives in simplicity. Watch powerful people closely. They don't rush to fill silence. They don't panic when questioned. They don't scramble to be understood by everyone in the room. They say what needs to be said, and stop. Silence does the rest of the work. Silence communicates certainty. Silence communicates control. Your discomfort with silence is not random. It comes from fear. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear of being judged. Fear of being rejected. So you talk, and talk, and talk. But the irony is this: the more you explain, the less people respect your decision. Not because your reason is wrong, but because your energy says you're unsure. You don't need to convince. You need to decide. When you stop explaining yourself, something shifts internally. Your posture changes, your voice slows, your words carry weight. You realize you don't need agreement to move forward. You don't need applause to be right. You don't need permission to protect your time, your energy, your future. This doesn't mean becoming cold or dismissive. It means becoming grounded. It means trusting that your decision is enough, because you decided it. That's leadership. That's self-respect in action. Try it. The next time you feel the urge to justify, pause. State your decision once, then stop. Let the silence stretch. Let the discomfort rise and pass. That discomfort is the sound of an old version of you losing control. Success demands clarity, confidence demands restraint, and power begins the moment you realize this. Truth. You are allowed to choose without explaining why. The fear of being disliked has controlled more lives than failure ever has. It whispers lies into your decisions. It tells you to stay quiet, stay agreeable, stay small, because approval feels safer than truth. And so you trade authenticity for acceptance, not realizing the price you're paying is your identity. Here's the truth. Most people ever face, no matter how nice you are, someone will still dislike you. You can give more, explain more, sacrifice more, and it won't change that fact. Disapproval is not a mistake in your character, it's a guarantee of being real. Trying to avoid it is a losing game, and deep down you already know that. Psychologically, the fear of being disliked comes from one core belief: if they don't like me, I'm not safe. That belief may have protected you once, but today it's the chain holding you back. Because success, real success, requires visibility. It requires opinions. It requires decisions that not everyone will agree with. You cannot rise while trying to blend in. Look closely at the people who changed your life, your industry, your thinking. Were they universally liked? Never. They were criticized, questioned, misunderstood, and still they moved forward. Not because they were fearless, but because they chose purpose over popularity. When you live for approval, you hand strangers the steering wheel to your future. Their moods decide your confidence. Their reactions decide your voice. That's not living, that's waiting to be validated. And validation is a terrible master. It keeps addicted, anxious, and dependent. Here's the shift that sets you free. Being disliked is not rejection, it's filtration. It separates those who resonate with your truth from those who benefit from your silence. The moment you stop trying to be liked by everyone, you attract the people who respect you for who you actually are. Discomfort will show up. Let it. Growth always feels lonely before feels powerful. The fear you feel when standing firm is the same fear you once felt before every breakthrough in your life. It's not a warning, it's confirmation. You are not born to be palatable. You were born to be real, to take up space, to speak clearly, to choose yourself without apology. Some will walk away. Let them. The ones who stay will meet you at your level, not stand on your should-ers. Stop asking, do they like me? Start asking, do I respect myself? Because the moment self-respect becomes your standard, fear loses its grip, and your life finally begins to move forward. Strength is not loud. Power does not need to shout. Real authority walks into the room, calm, steady, and unshaken. When you become calm, firm, and unapologetic, you stop leaking energy trying to prove yourself. You stop reacting. You start choosing. And that's when everything changes. Most people think confidence looks like aggression. It doesn't. Aggression is insecurity with volume turned up. True confidence is controlled. It's the ability to stay grounded when others panic, to stay silent when others overshare, to stay firm when others try to push. Calmness is not weakness, it is dominance over your emotions, and emotional control is the highest form of power. When are calm, you see clearly. You don't rush decisions. You don't get pulled into drama. You don't explain yourself out of fear. You respond instead of react. That alone puts you ahead of most people, because while they are busy defending their ego, you are protecting your direction. Firmness is what gives your calmness weight. It's the refusal to bend when it matters. Not stubbornness, but certai. Firm people don't argue endlessly. They don't negotiate their values. They state their position and stand on it. And here's the psychological truth. The human mind respects consistency. When your words and actions align again and again, people stop testing you. They know where you stand. Unapologetic does not mean careless. It means you no longer apologize for having needs, limits, or RDs. You stop saying sorry for saying no. Sorry for choosing yourself. Sorry for growing beyond what others can handle. Apologies should be reserved for mistakes, not for self-respect. At first, this version of you will feel unfamiliar. Your old self survived by blending in. This new self leads by standing out. People may question you. Some may resist. Let them. Resistance is proof that the dynamic has changed. You are no longer available for manipulation, guilt, or pressure. This is the posture of leadership: calm mind, firm boundaries, unapologetic standards. It doesn't seek validation. It doesn't chase approval. It commands respect simply by existing. Practice this energy daily. Slow your speech, reduce your words, strengthen your decisions. Stand still when others push, you'll notice something powerful. The world adjusts to you. You don't need to become someone else. You need to stop abandoning yourself. Because the moment you become calm, firm, and unapologetic, you stop being controlled by fear and start shaping your life with intention, clarity, and unstoppable momentum. This is it, the moment to wake up and stop waiting for permission. The world doesn't reward nice people. It doesn't reward those who shrink to keep everyone else comfortable. It rewards those who stand firm, speak truth, and refuse to compromise their integrity. It rewards those who choose respect over approval, who understand that being liked by everyone is not the goal. Being respected and authentic is. Think about your life. How much of it has been spent saying yes when you wanted to say no? How often have you compromised yourself for someone else's comfort, only to feel exhausted, invisible, and unappreciated? That life wasn't yours. It was borrowed, rented from the expectations of others. And the cost has been high: self-doubt, resentment, missed opportunities, and dreams left unfulfilled. Here's the truth. No one will gently tell you. It's time to stop being nice at the cost of your future. Nice is convenient for everyone else, but it slowly destroys the person giving it. Nice doesn't win respect. It doesn't open doors that matter. Nice is silent suffering disguised as virtue, and you deserve more than silent suffering. You deserve influence, clarity, and the power to shape your own life. Choosing yourself doesn't make you selfish. It makes you alive. It makes you intentional. Every time you honor your boundaries, speak your truth, or take a stand, you send a signal to the world. I am here. I am not negotiable. I am not a placeholder in someone else's story. I am the author of my own. And when you take that position, everything changes. People treat you differently. Opportunities appear where once there were only dead ends, and the life you've been longing for suddenly feels possible. It won't be easy. Old habits die hard. Fear will show up. Resistance will rise. People may dislike you, they may test you, but growth is never comfortable. Transformation is never polite. What feels like discomfort is the sound of your old self breaking away, making room for the stronger, unapologetic version of you that has been waiting to emerge. So start now. Speak your truth. Protect your time, your energy, your values. Say no when it matters. Stop shrinking. Stop apologizing for existing. Choose self-respect over approval, authenticity over acceptance, because the moment you stop being nice at the cost of your dignity, you don't just change your life, you ignite a force that the world cannot ignore. You are not here to please everyone. You are here to lead your own life. Stand firm, be brave, and claim your power, because your life is too valuable to live small.